The Curse of the Black Moon. In the small, dusty village of Ojere, located deep in the heart of the Yoruba land, there was a tale told around many fires, whispered with reverence and caution. It was about a girl named Bimpe, born during a rare eclipse that occurred once every 2 generations. That eclipse, they say, was no ordinary one. It was the Black Moon, a celestial event said to bring both blessings and curses. Bimpe's mother, Bimpe, had been in labor for hours when the sky darkened one evening, even though the sun was still high. The villagers gathered at the outskirts of the village, waiting to see what omen would befall the land. The elders had long warned that a child born under such an eclipse would hold extraordinary power, but with power came danger that could ruin not just her, but the entire village. When Bimpe was born, the first cry she made sent a ripple through the crowd. There was something unnatural about her. She was so beautiful, her skin as dark as the night sky during the eclipse, and her eyes a piercing, unusual shade of silver. The elders feared that her beauty, though a gift, might also be a curse. It was said that children born under the Black Moon were often followed by shadows, spirits that lived in the darkness, always watching, always waiting. But no one, not even the elders, could have foreseen what was to come. As Bimpe grew, the village began to notice strange happenings. Crops that had been planted by the riverbanks withered despite the abundant rainfall. Animals grew sick and began to disappear, leaving only faint traces behind. The villagers whispered that it was Bimpe's presence that had caused the misfortune, and yet despite their suspicions, she was loved by her family and admired by many for her grace and kindness. She had a heart that was as pure as the finest honey, always helping others, especially the elderly. One evening, as Bimpe walked home from the river, the air shifted. A dense fog rolled in from the forest, and the temperature dropped rapidly. Bimpe felt a chill crawl up her spine as a low, eerie hiss filled the air. She turned around and froze. A large snake, unlike any she had seen before, slithered toward her with its eyes glowing an unnatural red. It stopped just a few feet away, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. The snake seemed to recognize her as if it were waiting for something. With a scream, Bimpe turned and ran, not stopping until she was safely inside her house. The next day, she could not shake the feeling that something had changed. In her dreams, the snake had appeared again, this time more clearly. It was not just any serpent. It was a guardian, she realized. A guardian bound to her family by an ancient pact made long ago when her ancestors had unknowingly betrayed the spirit of the moon by taking something that did not belong to them. As the days passed, Bimpe began to feel a connection to the snake. Whenever she faced danger, whether from the village's wild animals or the ominous forest, the snake would appear, warning her and guiding her out of harm's way. But with each encounter, Bimpe's power grew. She could feel the curse of the Black Moon awakening inside her. Her silver eyes began to glow, and she could no longer deny the truth. She was connected to something ancient and powerful, but it came at a cost. The village, once full of admiration for her beauty and kindness, began to grow fearful. A woman named Olufunmilayo, jealous of Bimpe's power and beauty, began to spread rumors that Bimpe had made a pact with the serpent to control the rains and crops. The villagers, who had once respected her, now whispered that she was a witch, a girl marked by the spirits of darkness. They believed that she had cursed them, and that her beauty was only a mask hiding something far more dangerous. One evening during the harvest festival, Bimpe stood at the village square adorned in the finest beads and fabrics. The villagers looked at her with suspicion, murmuring among themselves. But as she danced, the ground trembled. The sky darkened and a heavy silence fell over the crowd. Out of nowhere, the serpent appeared, slithering through the crowd with a low hiss. The people screamed and scattered, leaving Bimpe standing alone in the center, her eyes glowing silver. Bimpe's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the serpent was there to protect her. But the fear in the villager's eyes was too much to bear. She ran, leaving the village behind, feeling the weight of their judgment crushing her spirit. In the neighboring village, she sought refuge with her grandmother, an elderly woman who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the old ways. It was here that Bimpe learned the truth about her birth and the curse that had followed her family for generations. Her grandmother revealed that her ancestors had once wronged the spirits of the moon, stealing a sacred artifact that had brought prosperity to their village. In return, the moon goddess had cursed their bloodline, making them the descendants of the Black Moon. But there was a way to lift the curse. Bimpe had to face the serpent in its true form, an ancient spirit of the forest, and offer herself as a sacrifice. This was the only way to break the chain of darkness that had haunted her family. With a heavy heart, Bimpe returned to Ojer, determined to confront her destiny. When she arrived, the village was in chaos. The crops had failed completely, and the villagers were on the brink of despair. The elders begged for her forgiveness, realizing now that they had misunderstood the true nature of her powers. The snake, sensing her return, appeared once more, but this time Bimpe walked toward it with peace in her heart. In that moment, the serpent shed its skin, transforming into a beautiful woman with skin as dark as the night sky. She was the spirit of the Black Moon, and she revealed that Bimpe's sacrifice was not necessary. The curse had already been lifted. Bimpe had proved her worth by refusing to use her power for evil, and the villagers, in their fear, had finally understood the true nature of her spirit. From that day on, Bimpe became a revered figure in the village, not as a symbol of fear, but as a guardian, a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. The villagers now saw her for what she truly was, a child of the moon, born to restore balance and protect her people. And the Black Moon, once a curse, became a blessing, an enduring symbol of Bimpe's strength, grace, and the wisdom of the ancestors.